Share via email. Report story. By Sefsticles. Summary. After Ochako Uraraka is defeated by Katsuki Bakugo in the sports festival, Izuku Midoriya overhears his friend crying in the waiting room. Feeling worried over this, he tries to think of a way to make her feel better, and to let her know just how amazing he thinks she is. Written for Day 6 Prom. Lost Nightmare of Izuocha Week 2017. Equals 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 dot. It was nearing the finals of the UA Sports Festival, and Izuku Midoriya was feeling guilty. He was feeling guilty of many things. For one, he regretted his defeat against his classmate and newfound rival Shoto Todoroki. He worried over not being able to fully control One for All, and how he was so focused on trying to help his opponent out of his inner turmoil that he ended up losing the match, thinking that he had failed his mentor, All Might, and broken his promise. But at least he felt there was a silver lining. While he had gotten a broken leg, 2 broken arms, and various burns and scrapes, Recovery Girl had been there to treat him. While he had lost to Todoroki, he had gained a new friend in him. While he failed to safely control One for All Might had promised to help him find a new way to use it without having to be so self-destructive. So no, that was not what he regretted the most. At that time, what he felt the worst about was not being able to help his friend Ochako Uraraka cope with her devastating defeat against their classmate, despite seeing the distress in her eyes after seeing her whole battle plan be literally blown to bits. How could I just leave her like that? Izuku thought. Her opponent Katsuki Bakugo was a fearsome combatant, and his explosion was definitely a lopsided matchup against her zero gravity, so he understood her problem, and yet regret still stung at his heart, because he felt he had done nothing about it, despite being her friend, despite seeing her nervously smiling and shaking before the match, reassuring him that everything was fine. She would do her best, be strong and brave, and would even challenge him, saying that they should meet in the final match. Izuku definitely agreed that Ochako was indeed strong and brave, perhaps even more than he was, he thought. Every time her opponent threw an explosion in her direction, she just dodged and kept pressing the attack like nothing happened, and to everyone's surprise, had actually been planning a counterattack the entire time in the form of a meteor shower created from the rubble kicked up from all the explosions. But he also knew that her strength had a limit. That meteor shower was not only a sign of her strength, but also her desperation, as she had already hit her limit, having to both lighten herself and float the rocks. So when he saw Katsuki blow it away with his biggest explosion yet, Izuku knew that the fight was effectively over, further confirmed by the sight of Ochako limping towards her opponent only to collapse on the floor. She had lost the match. Izuku knew the girl would not take well to that, so he was rather surprised, and concerned, with the seemingly carefree image Ochako was projecting to him, as he knew it was just a facade. And yet he could do nothing, as any further attempt to pry would simply be brushed off with, "I'm okay," or similar. All the boy could do wish her well, and then later freeze in shock as he heard her muffled crying through the thin door of the waiting room. His regret would further intensify upon seeing her back in the bleachers, with her eyes nearly swollen shut after letting out so much hidden tears. And so, once it had been decided that Shoto Todoroki and Katsuki Bakugo were to face each other in the final match, Izuku also decided that he had to do something about this. He had to help her. But the question was, how? It wasn't until the end of the sports festival that Izuku made up his mind on what to do for her, after watching his classmates Kirishima and Kachan of all people. Promoted stories. You'll also like, not all heroes wear capes. Some just have 8.42.4k 1.4 kilo. Everybody. This is a suicidal, depressed Deku book with Dadmic. Will their bond grow? Will Mike fuck up? Will Izuku try to kill himself? Find out yourself. Number 1 Radio. Ohm Fluka Day 112K 8.2 kilo amperes. Collection of short Ohm Fluko for 365 days. Please check the second book for the rest of the day's update. Izuku's Harem Academia 184K 1.7 Qst. Read. The Heroes Return MHAXJJK, ongoing 113K 1.7K and Quad, Izuku. Midoriya, after being betrayed and killed, vanishes leaving hurt people behind. After 2 months in a hack, he come back, changed. How will the class feelings? Izawa. X-Reader 57.1K 1.3 KRE posting. This until I edit it, sorry if it's not good, it's my first time writing a story. You enroll at UA and you have multiple quirks you are really good at using. Why? Convicted Hearts 3390 like my other story but ILI longer. After all. Ohm Fluke 11.3K 802. Will edit once I'm free. N. This is a work of fiction, and any similarity with other works is purely coincidental. Excuse grammatical errors and misspellings, Eng. It was just after the closing ceremony. After the awards had been distributed, Mr. Izawa had ordered all students to report to their respective classrooms, but not before granting them some free time to socialize and explore the stalls in front of the stadium. As they slowly made their way out, Izuku heard the sound of clanging chains and metal hitting the ground. He turned his head, and saw Bakugo with a gold medal hanging from his mouth. Beside him was All Might, having recently finished undoing his restraints. Again, young Bakugo, congratulations on getting first place. Have a good day now. All Might gleefully said, as he took off the medal from younger Blonde's mouth, placing it on his hand. Don't tell me what to do, he angrily replied, quickly turning away and pocketing his medal while stepping down from the pedestal, sulking over what he perceived as a hollow victory. While making his way to the exit tunnel, he saw his friend, Eijiro Kirishima, waving at him. Hey, Bakugo, he heard, as the spiky redhead made his way over to him. The hell do you want, weird hair? Congrats on getting first place, man, Kirishima said, wrapping his arm around his blonde classmate. How about we get something to eat to celebrate? There's this great burger place that has a kiosk around here. They're really good, promise. No, and who the hell said you could touch me? He yelled, as he forcefully shrugged Kirishima's arm off of him. He was so not in the mood for this. Typical Kachan. Izuku sighed, as he watched the scene unfold in front of him. But man, this place is really delicious. Mina and Siro are coming too. Come on, it'll be like Team Bakugo at the cavalry battle all over again. Kirishima again tried to convince him. All the more reason not to come. Why the hell would I wanna eat with tape face and raccoon eyes? Because dude, it'll be my treat. At this, Bakugo paused. Okay, maybe he hated everything, but maybe he can make an exception for food. Especially free food. After all, his fight against Todoroki really took a lot out of him, so maybe a quick burger wouldn't hurt. Izuku paused as well, finally getting an idea, maybe I could treat Uraraka to something too. The green-haired boy started muttering to himself, his mind trying to recall the various food stalls he saw during his walk on the way to the stadium. Come on, what do you say? I'll treat you to a real manly double bacon cheeseburger, Kirishima said, trying another angle of attack, aiming for the blonde's appetite. After a brief pause, it worked. All right, fine, I'm going. But it better taste good, or I'll blow your brains out. Yes, you won't regret this, man, I swear. The redhead happily shouted, content that he finally was able to convince Bakugo. His celebration, however, was briefly interrupted as his blonde companion quickly darted his head in front of them. And what the hell are you staring at us for, Deku? Bakugo yelled as he scowled at Izuku, annoyed at the thought that his mortal enemy may have been eavesdropping on them. Izuku's eyes widened, shocked at the fact that he had been noticed. Sorry Kachan. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. It's just that you were really loud. I'll be on my way now, bye. He yelped as he limped away from them and out of the stadium, eager to take his thoughts someplace else. Izuku could have sworn that he saw a drop of saliva trickling from the blonde's mouth. Dash 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 dot. The premises around the stadium were crowded. Stalls of all sorts lined the main pathway selling both food and hero merchandise. Groups of family and friends gathered around various areas looking to take pictures, and in general filled with people who were looking to either leave the venue or explore it. Among those people was Izuku Midoriya, absent-mindedly walking in a straight line, his thoughts in another world as he mulled over his plan of attack. Good thing people saw that his right arm was on a cast and a sling, and that his left leg was on splints, else they wouldn't have taken care to stay out of his way. Maybe if I offer to treat Uraraka to something I can check up on her and see if she's fine. But where? Mom gave me extra allowance for today and I still have my stored value card for the train so I don't have to worry about money, but I don't know what snacks she would be into. Wait, I did hear from Kaminari one time that she really likes mochi, but what flavor? And what if she finds out and thinks that I'm a creep or a stalker? And how do I even go about asking her out in the first place? And, wait a minute, where is Uraraka? Thankfully the boy had been right beside the girl in question, who was currently last in line at a takoyaki stand. Huh, did someone call my name? The brunette wondered out loud as she turned around to see the green-haired boy muttering to himself. Oh, Deku, there you are. I've been looking for you, Yano, she said, throwing a beaming smile at him as she waved her arm out and called him over. Hoo-ha, Uraraka, I was looking for you too. I wanted to talk to you about something. He yelped as he felt both relief and panic, relieved to finally see her, but panicked at the thought that she may have heard him mumbling about her. Wanna get some takoyaki? My treat, offered Ochako as she gestured to the takoyaki stand, to which Izuku replied with, why yeah, sure, but actually Uraraka, I wanted to treat you to something too, if you're okay with it, that is, as he looked away as scratched the back of his head using his free left hand, cheeks blushing with embarrassment. Now it was Ochako's turn to blush. Izuku's offer was gladly accepted, and after waiting in line, placing their order, and nearly fainting due to embarrassment from having to explain to the owner that she was, in fact, not his girlfriend, they would find a place to enjoy their meals in peace, a rather quiet part of the stadium located near a service entrance. In front of the door was a road, a tree, and below it, a bench where the two of them sat and ate their meals in comfortable silence, a tray of fresh hot takoyaki squid balls and a bottle of water each for the both of them. Eventually, Ochako would break the silence by asking, so, what did you want to talk about Deku? She said, then grabbed her water bottle to drink. Izuku gulped, and looked downward. Would she get mad at him for saying it? He knew Uraraka wasn't the type who enjoyed being fussed over. To her, it was the other way around. But even so, he had to help her, at least find out if she's already doing okay. How could he call himself her friend if he didn't? It's. It's about earlier. In the tournament, another gulp. Here goes nothing. It's about your match with Kachan. Ochako tensed up. She slowly lowered her bottle, eyes widening in nervousness and beads of sweat starting to form on her forehead. You want to talk about that Deku? What about it? I, I just wanted to check up on you. You were acting all nervous before the match, and, you seemed kinda down the last time I talked to you. Izuku worriedly said, eyebrows furrowing. His suspicions had been confirmed, judging by Ochako's reaction. Huh, what do you mean down? I'm fine, Deku. I lost, but there's always a next time, right? What brought this on? She replied, nervous at how inquisitive his friend was and how easily he had seen through her. At this, Izuku tensed up as well. He had to tell her. Hopefully she won't be too annoyed about it, but Ochako was his friend. Nervous as he may be, he had to be honest with her, even if his body was starting to shake and all he could look at was the ground because he was too afraid to face her. Once more, he started to run his mouth. Well, Uraraka, after the match, when I left you in the waiting room, you were talking to your dad, right? And, you were crying too. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to listen in, and I couldn't even do anything. I just stood there and watched. Uh, Deku, and ever since that, I've been so worried about you, Uraraka. I mean, we're friends, right? You can tell me if there's something wrong. I'd always want to help you, and even if I couldn't help you, at least I can listen. Deku, and not that I like it when you're having problems, but that's what friends do, right? They help each other, and we're friends, right? Please tell me we're friends. Please tell me we're still friends, even if you're probably really mad at me because. Deku, Ochako yelled at Izuku, desperate to shake her out of his reverie. To her relief, it was a success. The boy stayed silent as his eyes were wide open, his cheeks pale, and his breathing heavy as he tried to calm himself. Her expression then turned from that of panic to that of shame as she clasped her hands around her water bottle and looked down, trying to think of what to say next. Guess the truth is out now, Deku. Sorry you had to hear that. You must have been beating yourself up over it. Izuku looked up at her, surprised and confused. Even now, she was apologizing to him. Isn't it like the other way around? Ochako let out a relieved sigh, as if a huge weight was lifted off her chest, then flashed a warm smile towards Izuku as she said, but, thanks. For telling me you're here. I needed to hear that. Uh, why yeah, you're welcome Uraraka, but sorry you had hear me mutter again. He blushed, still looking away from her, embarrassed at how she had to endure that for the nth time. But somewhere at the back of his head, he was also happy. He may have been unable to make good on his promise to All Might that he would make his big debut at the festival and tell the world that he is here, but if he could do the same for his friend, that would be just as good. Baby steps, right? Don't sweat it, Deku, it's alright. I think it's amazing how you can speak so fast without tripping on your words. Actually, the second the boy was mentioned, his blushing red cheeks flushed even redder, and his eyes grew wide as he started sweating bullets. Amazing. Plain old Deku was amazing. Compared to her, Ochako Uraraka, probably the most amazing girl in the world. She was wrong, very wrong, and he was damn well gonna prove it. Me, amazing. Actually, why you're even more amazing Uraraka. Remember your meteor shower earlier? Kachan actually got mad at me for that, thinking that it was my idea, but really it was all on you. And I think that's really cool. Oh yeah, well I think you're cooler. What about the first time we fought him, in the heroes versus villains exercise? You managed to beat him without even using your quirk. You're forgetting the fact that I had you there to help me, Uraraka. We couldn't have won that if it wasn't for you. And what about that time you punched out that 0 pointer in the entrance exam? You saved my life there, you know. Well, you saved my life too. And what about that time we first met, when you saved me from tripping myself? If it wasn't for you making me float, maybe I could have hit my head or sprained my ankle or. Calm down, both of you. Oh damn, what do we have here? Am I Mr. Izawa? Present Mike, said the duo of students in unison. The pair were disrupted from their argument by none other than their homeroom teacher and English teacher, who had come from the service entrance door. The former's arms were both wrapped in casts and slings, while his face was wrapped in bandages, having been injured from the past villain attack at the USJ, while the latter had followed to assist him. Look, break's over in a few minutes, so get dressed. See you both in class, said Aizawa, who curtly nodded afterwards then walked away. Stay safe, you two. Followed present Mike. Both pairs then went their separate ways, the students to change out of their PE uniforms and the teachers to check up on more of their students. Izuku and Ochako were rather surprised to hear how fast the time flew by. They had almost been late, but they just laughed and smiled, and decided that it was totally worth it. Meanwhile, the two teachers were having a conversation of their own. Hey Eraser, bro, did you hear they were talking about there? Yes I did, Mike, though I'd rather not butt into my students' personal lives. What about it, dude? They were practically fawning over each other. This is great. These two students of yours, Deku Uraraka, will be sailing in no time. Let me guess, you've had this in mind ever since you saw them at the entrance exam. Yup, can y'all blame me? It was cute as hell. Aizawa sighed. Figures. He had nothing against student relationships. UA Academy's rules allowed for it, and he had dealt with it in his past classes, though his protective instincts still kicked in. Dadzawa mode, in the words of present Mike. He might have to lay down the law in case it would interfere with their schooling. But still, he didn't disagree with Mike. It would be interesting, and he dared thought, cute, to see the shy boy and energetic girl try to get along. Where stories live. Discover now.
uncertain mind, but